Okay.
You are watching the Pan-African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want. Unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherland's calling its diaspora home. Join my voice. Join my team. Join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan-African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa.
Okay. Dear Pan-Africanists, we're live on the Pan-African Daily TV. Tonight is March 6th, 2024. And joining us on this conversation today are the youths and the mentees and the coordinators that are actually the followers of Professor PLO Lumumba, to whom we want to actually talk about his foundation and the leadership on that foundation and the work of the foundation. So I want to thank all of you that are joining. I don't know where you're joining from because my back screen is just as black. I can see anything. I can see your comments. I can see you in the chat. But I see that already more than 20 people watching from this source. It's like Facebook is not connected. And you know what happened to Facebook yesterday, and most of the WhatsApp platforms just crashed. So I think they're still facing some kind of challenges to connect us there. But on YouTube, I can already see most people that are joining from across. I just cannot see you yet in the comment section. I don't know why. If you're watching me, comment, please. Drop your comment in the chat so I can know where you're watching from, because like I said, we have no clue who is watching us right here, who is going to be our audience tonight. And I have this beautiful or handsome, handsome gentleman here with me in studio, live from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Thank you, Mr. Paul. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Paul, for connecting. At least I see you. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. I can see you here. Razak, you should be in the studio right here with us, not on the chat group, okay? Wow. And I can see woo, Brunhilde Aqua, the queen of Germany. She's the one controlling the Cameroonian African community, Baden-Württemberg, Germany, and Europe. Thank you for being here, Aqua. This is the first time that I see you watching me live on Pan-African Daily. I appreciate you. Invite all your followers and your friends to be with you here. I can see Comrade Oliver Kapamba, sorry. He's the country director for Zambia PLO. And I expect to see all the PLO chapters, the 50 PLO chapters on the continent right here. Diaspora is not yet on board into live stuff, but we can see the continent is winning because we're going to start actually giving award to the PLO Lumumba Foundation, those that are actually participating. And I think the Africa chairman and director is guest tonight, and we'll be talking about all those programs. I'm just giving you time to join on board so we can roll. I can also see, wow, the Pan-African Daily TV group in Bamenda, represented by a young coming art author, Kijika Bila. He's watching me live from Cameroon, Bamenda. Thank you for being here. Norma Brown, say you're watching from Maryland, US. Oh, wow. Yes. I want you to settle down in the house because we're going to start a kind of a conversation where we put the youth in focus. And it will be really important for all of you to be a contributor. Contributor doesn't mean only the guests in the studio with me. A contributor actually means you that is watching the community, because you're the one assessing the communication or the conversation. You're the one giving your input to it. So we call it a family, not just those that are here in the studio with me, but even those that are in the community chats. That's why I'm reaching out to greet you. Thank you, Johnny. Nze Elvesta Toba say I'm watching from Bamenda. Yes, this is your Bamenda girl. This is your Bamenda girl, the boss lady and founder and host on Pan African Daily TV, Dr. Tata. Thank you for joining me, my people from Bamenda, because this is all your thing. And I can already just unveil it to you. The PLO Lumumba Bamenda chapter is currently being created right now. So if you're from Bamenda and you want to be a part, I mean, from Cameroon generally, but the main headquarters of the PLO Lumumba Foundation is going to be in Bamenda, in Bamenda. So if you're in Bamenda or in South Sudan, wherever you're watching me that doesn't have a chapter, please make sure that you'll be signing in today, because your Africa coordinator is right here, Mr. Razak, and his comrade, Juramu Nkumbi from Tanzania. They are all here to give you the backup that you need to create the chapter in your country. And we, as the official media partner of the PLO Lumumba Foundation, will be helping to bring your conversation and the impact that you're creating in these communities live to the whole world, to be able to see your work. So I want to thank all of you for joining. You can overtake the communication, if you have a comment or you have a question or you have a remark or you have anything to just share with us, drop it in the comment section where you're watching me. I'll bring it live on the studio, okay? So, wow. Yeah, you see, we already have some loves coming in here from these people. Mr. Nkumbi, you can already begin to see your fans and your followers. They say
Yeah,
they love you
yeah.
here and they love the work
Thank you
that
very
you're
much.
doing. Thank you. Revolution 7 is saying greetings from Georgia, from the United States. Is Snakes. I think that's an organization, United States Snakes. Wow. And BC Deng is watching us from Sudan. Thank you very much. From Sudan. How are people right there? Sudan, we're looking at you, okay? We're taking a close look at you. I think we need a PLO Lumumba foundation there, Mr. Nkumbi, if one is not already existing, and just a lot that is coming up. So please share the conversation. We are in a family here. We're in the global African family, the Pan-African family, the African voices by Africans seeking solutions to their challenges. So we are in the era of nobody tells us what we need to know. We're in the era of we know our challenges, what our continent is going through, what we as Africans, even in the diaspora or in our communities, are going through, and we're looking for those solutions. We don't want anybody to tell us how we should run Africa, how Africa's model should look like. We want to create a unique model for Africa by Africans, our perspective, our voices, and our stories. Okay, that's all what Pan African Daily TV is all about. And so we're here to share this wonderful conversation with you. Matus Hungula said, "I'm not left out. I'm also connected from Namibia." And that he's watching right here. Yes, of course. We're going to have the chapter in Bamenda. So you can sign up if you're interested. Text us on our WhatsApp and we'll engage you in the group. So Eritrea is also on board. Wow. I mean, the young people are waking up. We want to see everybody represented right here. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everybody, every country represented right here. Wherever Africans are, we're not talking only about the mother continent with 55 or 54 countries. We're talking about Africans worldwide. So whether you're watching us in the Caribbean, in Asia, in Sri Lanka, in India, in Qatar, Dubai, wherever you're watching us as an African, just drop your face here and salute us. I know I haven't forgotten you, Uganda. You're in the house. You say we are here too. Teachers Training Institute. Wow. Mm. Do you know? Oh, we have the main campus in Uganda, right, at Eden University. So I think your teachers and the institutes are already coming up on board. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Isa. Good. I'll have to make a very short announcement right now first because Razak, who is supposedly supposed to be with us also here, who is the Africa coordinator, actually was here, but light went out. Mr. Kumi, you can back me up on that because he's here in the studio.
Yeah.
That's why he's in the chat until the lights would come up out there in Ghana. Then he will be live with us. so you can see him. But he will be joining us, I think, on audio for now. All right. Thank you very much. I'm just throwing in, your comrades from the different parts that are actually following you up, so that when you open up the conversation, you know those who are your audience and who you're actually addressing. Okay. So, live in Kampala, Uganda, I'm the country director of PLO Foundation, Uganda chapter. It's good to be here tonight. So, Uganda chapter is right here with us. Thank you, Odeke. Ol- Odeke. Okay. I'm sorry if I don't pronounce your name well. I'm a Bamenda girl, and sometimes we, the Bamenda girls, we have some accent. I'm so sorry about that. And so, Sudan, thank you. Are you a representative of the PLO Lumumba Foundation? Do you have a foundation right out there in Sudan, South Sudan? I'm not seeing all the other countries represented. I think South Africa is right here with us. Who is this? Hey, SA is here. Okay. Are you a country director, or do you have a PLO Lumumba Foundation in your country? We want to see all the representatives right here. If you are one of the chapters and you don't see your representation here, please begin to text them and say, we are doing a census of here tonight, because this is the biggest foundation that has the interest of the young people of Africa. The PLO Lumumba Foundation is not afraid to be in competition with the youth. Most leaders are. Let's be fact. I mean, I'm just facing the fact. The leaders on the continent, most of your presidents are afraid of their youths. They're afraid. You have too much power to take over. You draw your campaigns, they come in panzers, and you go without even guns and bullets, but they are scared of you. They come in panzers, they spray you with water when you want to talk against the system. But this PLO Lumumba is not afraid of the young people. Say, come here. I'm ready for your challenge. Okay. That is why we need to know where to put our leadership footsteps on. And PLO Lumumba is that foundation, and it's a great work behind all these things. And we are here to support this foundation with everything. Okay. So please make sure, if you don't have a PLO Lumumba Foundation chapter in your country, whether on the continent of Africa or wherever you are as an African diaspora or migrant, make sure that you sign in to be a representative. We're going to invite you for a general meeting, worldwide meeting, and we direct you on how to lead those foundations. Your mentors are already here right now. They'll be talking the whole time. Don't worry. I'm just warming up the conversation. I'll give them the voices. They'll run the program tonight. But I just want to call on all the young people watching me right now. And we're going to be creating the youth branches in the chapters. Again, like women, youth, elders, everything that builds a nation. Okay. So you can even already call it the PLO Lumumba Africa, the new Africa. It's becoming a nation. It's becoming a nation where young people are giving the right to take over. Okay. While we're waiting on all of you to join and share here, please, I want to give the floor to my dear coordinator for Tanzania chapter to open the floor. And while we'll be waiting for lights to come on in Ghana, and we bring Razak on the show. So, Mr. Nkumbi, you're welcome here tonight. It's a pleasure to have you. I've been following up your amazing work out there in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. You're doing pretty well. And that's why we thought, we should have this conversation with you. What is it that the PLO Lumumba chapters need for us to support them, for the media to expose and show their good work? What is it that you actually need to tell the young people on the continent and in the diaspora what you are doing in your chapter and how they should contribute to nation building of Africa and Africans worldwide? So thank you for being with us. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tata. I am very humbled to be in this great platform that unite the Africans within and outside the continent of Africa. I'm really humbled to be in this amazing platform. And I am very grateful to be among of the few young people in Africa who have had an opportunity to get mentored by one of the greatest African leaders of today. And I feel privileged to having met Professor PLO Lumumba in my earlier years at the university. It was in the first year when I started to read and do some research here and there. You know, in the beginning, once you start to learn about leadership and philosophy and psychology, you find yourself quoting the Europeans, the Americans, and people from far land. But at the moment of realization, you start to ask yourself, do we have great men and women in this continent? Do we have the intellectuals in our society that we can learn from them and we can quote them and share their legacy with the young people and other people to other civilization? So we are living in a world where even heroes are imported. The world, and especially people from other civilization, through the use of their media, they are busy creating heroes for us to emulate, for us to follow. If we are not keen enough to examine our situation and to ask ourselves, we may find ourselves glorifying other civilization and other people while we are living the best in our communities, the best in our continent. So in the earlier years of my life, I was privileged to start following the footsteps of people like Julius Kambarage Nyerere and Kwame Nkrumah and those of PLO Lumumba. So in Tanzania, what I am doing is to advocate and to champion the ideas of great Pan-Africanists of all the time, and to tell our fellow young people and fellow Africans that we have been having intellectuals. They are good literature that we can read to galvanize ourselves, to prepare ourselves, to uplift our spirit, and to mobilize ourselves to take Africa to the next level. No one is going to build this beautiful continent. No one is going to save us. No one is going to take us to the promised land. We are the people to take ourselves there. The Moses we have been waiting for to deliver us is us. And we cannot continue to blame what other people have done to us. We must mobilize our spirit and to start mobilizing our community. It doesn't matter whether we are doing great or we are doing small, but doing what we can do at this moment, it puts us in a good condition to do even better tomorrow. So you start by what you have from where you are. It doesn't matter whether you are in political positions or you're not in a political position. So long as you have the mind, so long as you can think, so long as you have the eyes to see what is missing in your community, in your village, you begin from there. As they say, leadership is influence. The capacity to influence people around you to do something which is beneficial to them. It's leadership. Leadership has nothing to do with titles, nothing to do with positions. Leadership is not about age, but the courage to initiate change and a positive change. This is what I'm trying to do in Tanzania. So my role is to move from one university to another university. to awaken the mind of fellow young people, to tell them about the future, to tell them to use wisely the present moment so that they can take charge of the future. What can we do now? How can we invest in our time that we have right now so that we can take charge of the future? If they are in school, it is important for them to read between the lines and to ask themselves whether what they are learning at the university will solve the existing challenge in their communities. So if they bow down their heads and read those yellow notes, they must also raise up and see around them whether what they are studying is relevant, to see if they can leverage technology to solve the existing challenges in the community, because leadership is about relevancy. If you are studying something and if you are trained, but at the end of the day you don't have the skills to make you relevant in your community, then you are not educated properly. And if you have realized you have been miseducated, now you have an opportunity to educate yourself. Through the power of technology, you can invite the best mind in your little room, in your village. You can speak with professors. You can chat with great men and women and interact with people like Kwame Nkrumah through the help of technology. You can read their books. I can hear other young men, they say, you know, we don't have mentors. We don't have old people to come and engage us. But don't forget that we are living in an amazing time right now. Internet is like the oracle of wisdom if you know how to use it. And other people, they choose to use internet to enjoy themselves. They go into Netflix, they watch movies, they entertain themselves, they watch music which has nothing to do with their future. But if you are this kind of intelligent young fellow, you will use the power of internet and technology to equip yourself with information knowledge. They say information is power.
Yes.
When you know your history very well and you have a sense of the past and you utilize well the present moment, then chances are very high you are going to lead in the next few years. People can ignore you as a person, but it is very difficult to ignore your contribution. Then my question to you, my fellow young people, my fellow Africans, the Africans within Africa and the Africans in the diaspora. The question is, what are you doing now to make you take the lead tomorrow? Are you relevant? Are you doing that which is right by using the time that you have been given? So as I am opening up this session, what I am trying to do in this part of the country is to remind my fellow Africans about the beauty of this continent. At the same time, I'm also preparing myself. I have written 6 books and I have published them on Amazon. My first book to write was about the role Tanzania played in the liberation struggle. Some of you, if you do not know, Tanzania and Dar es Salaam was the headquarters of African Liberation Committee, and Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere was the chairman of the Liberation Committee. So many of the comrades and our first founding fathers, those of Nelson Mandela, Samuel Safiri Shuna Nujoma, Robert Mugabe, Laurent Kabila, and those of Joseph Nkomo, Eduardo Mondlane, many of them, they were visiting Tanzania for strategies, but also for mobilizing themselves. And they used to come here in Dar es Salaam to chart the course. And some, they were coming here to get military training. People like Samora Moses Machel. He was recruited here as a soldier. He joined Frelimo here in Dar es Salaam. He was a nurse in his country, but when he came here from Mozambique, he became a soldier. So my role as a young people, I studied history in Tanzania, and so that I may share the beauty of what we have done in the mobilization of our fellow Africans in the liberation struggle. That was my first book to write, because someone must have a sense of history in order to take charge of the future. Otherwise, it becomes very, very difficult. In my second book, I wrote about leadership and mentorship. I understand the importance of mentorship. I was mentored by other people greater than myself. I could not be here today and speaking to you today if I had no privilege of being mentored by great people. I was a humble boy growing up in village, in a central part. I was not born in the city like in Dar es Salaam. I was born in the village. I didn't know what was happening in the world. I was unpolished, a village boy. I didn't know much about what was going on in the world. But good teachers came in my little village, and I did an interview, and I was admitted to join one of the finest schools in a region called Arusha. There I got a privilege to be trained into the area of leadership. I got mentors from there, and they started to challenge me. They expanded my mind and my brain and my spirit. As they say, a mind extended by a new idea, stretched by a new idea, will never go back to its original size. My mind was stretched. My spirit was transformed. And I was able to see things I was not able to see in my little village. So I understand mentorship and the importance of it. And then after some time, I said, it is important for me to share what I have learned for 2 years, for 3 years, and what I have researched. And then I came up with a book called Leadership and Mentorship. Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. The capacity to influence other people, to prepare yourself to have a big picture and to invite other people to the course. And leadership begins from where you are. First, you're trying to create some sort of influence to your neighbors, to your community. You invite them, you speak to them. And then slowly by slowly, you mobilize their spirit. Regardless whether you are in a political position or you're not in a political position. Whether you are a head of department or not a head of department. So long as you can think and you can reason, leadership is for you. Leadership is not for the elite, for the selected few. Kwa hiyo uongozi, leadership is for those who decide to walk away from the culture that limit them, to abandon the comfort zone and be ready to challenge themselves. Leadership is about conviction. You identify something you're willing to die for, or something you're willing to live for. Like Nelson Mandela, he had a conviction. He was willing to go to jail to set his fellow South Africans free. This is conviction. It begins with the conviction. You want to set people free from poverty. You want to create business, to employ your fellow countrymen and women, to become like a little Dangote, to empower people economically, to champion economic cause, because political liberation without economic liberation is the continuation of neo-colonialism. And you take that as a burden to you, and you start to champion economic liberation like what Julius Malema is doing, economic freedom fighters. So this is leadership. You see what the challenges within your community, and then you ask yourself if you can help solve that challenge, and slowly by using the few resources you have, you invite other people. That is leadership, and this is what we are trying to do through the platform of PLO Lumumba Foundation. We are not trying to do something new. What we are trying to do, we are championing the ideas of Kwame Nkrumah, Amilcar Cabral, Julius Kambarage Nyerere, those of Bibi Titi Mohammed, those of Dlamini Nkosazana Zuma. We are trying to champion these ideas, to unite Africa, to bring Africa together, to invite the diasporas in America, in UK, in London, to come and participate in national buildings, in building this mother continent, because the future is in Africa. The future of the world is in Africa. This is what we are trying to champion. Can we love ourselves more? Can we feel the pain of our brothers and sisters in Africa? Before we speak about freeing other people from other civilizations, can we speak about freeing our brothers and sisters in Congo, or in Sierra Leone, or in Somalia, or what is happening in West Africa? Can we speak about our issues and find solution for our issues before we engage ourselves in other challenges of other civilizations? Can we love ourselves more and listen to ourselves more? This is what we are trying to do, to awaken the mind of fellow young people in secondary schools, in university, in the community. This is the spirit behind. So we are taking the baton with a lot of grace, not with the arrogance, with a lot of grace that we know we are not worthy enough. We have been privileged. This is something that we have picked out of nowhere, and destiny and history has chosen us to chart forward this course. This is what we are trying to do, Dr. Tata. So I'm very happy to join you today, and thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you very much. I just rest my case right here, because there's nothing to add. There's nothing to subtract. We would get into another momentum. I just want to chill down first, and I want the audience, because you can hear Snovia and everybody's like, you're shocking us right now. But thank God we know the spirit that is behind you. Thank God who know where your inspiration, your vibration, we know the connection, the frequency under which you are. I'm telling you, my young champion, you are the greatest. I don't even know how to speak it, right? Like, you're raising the dust, you're waking up the dust, and you're waking up the spirit of your ancestors, and they are listening to you, the great warriors and champions of motherland, of African children worldwide. Thank you so very much for that wonderful opening. I know I'd really have to come out to say we first of all did not start by paying a moment of silence to the loss of your predecessor ancestor, the former president of Tanzania, who passed away. And I think the news is all over. I don't know whether you want to just say something small about it, but in the end, actually, we will have to commit a minute of silence. We just say it. Please just give us a minute of silence for this leader that left the world last week. And also, we remember even the former president of Namibia, the then president of Namibia, who was led to rest again on Sunday. So we have two leaders that just disappeared in our midst and relocated to meet their ancestors after having committed or finished their work on earth. So let's just observe a few seconds in memory of them and all the heroes and all those passed on even today as we speak. Thank you very much. We know they've gone back so well and they've arrived. So, yes. Do you want to say something about it? His passing away?
Yeah, we are still remembering his contribution. Al-Hajj Al-Hassan Mwinyi was the second president of Tanzania. He picked the baton from Julius Kambarage Nyerere, who was our founding father, and he has done so many good things in Tanzania. It was very tough during the time of Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere after they introduced structural adjustment policies in 1980s. So the economic condition was tough. The IMF, the World Bank were very tough on Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere. They suffocated the economy. And then Mwalimu Nyerere had to disappear. He said in Swahili, "Nang'atuka," which means I'm going to leave power. And then he found his mentee, Al-Hassan Mwinyi, to take it from there. And Mwinyi came as a rescue. And then he introduced something different, not something philosophical, but just to solve the existing problems which were there. And then he introduced something called ruksa. Ruksa means the permission to do some
Anything.
things.
Yes.
Which Mwalimu was philosophical. Julius Kambarage Nyerere was philosophical man. So he could not go against his words and his conviction, which he fought for so many years. But through the leadership of Al-Hassan Mwinyi, there was no any other alternative. So Mwinyi said, ruksa, it is permission. If you have been keeping your money in the United States of America or in UK or wherever, bring that money back. If you have been doing business in China or anywhere, you bring that business here. We are not going to ask you anything. We want to rescue the economy back home. And after sometimes, really, the economy started to boom. So the entrepreneurship spirit in Tanzania, the truth be told, came into life during the time of President Al-Hassan Mwinyi. And a lot of good stuff happened during his tenure. So we will remember him as one of our greatest president who ever served well. And the Tanzanians consider him as a leader who was God-fearing. During his time, really, he served well the Tanzanians. He considered about the poor, and truly we are mourning about him, but on the other hand, we are celebrating his spirit. And let the old man rest in peace. He has done his work, and he has gone full of age, 97 years. It's a blessing, and he has seen a lot. And even his son right now, he's a president of Zanzibar. He's a president of Zanzibar. And he's the only president who happened to be the president of Zanzibar and Tanzania as a mainland. Remember,
Yes.
Tanzania is the union of countries, Zanzibar and Tanganyika. So Al-Hassan Mwinyi was a president of Zanzibar, and then he became the president of the union, Tanzania. The only president who ever had that privilege to lead these two both countries, but in the union. So we'll remember him and miss him so much.
Thank you. You heard that. He is the country representative of the PLO Lumumba in Tanzania, but a Tanzanian born and son of the soil. As you can hear, Mr. Nkumbi, right here, a lot of people are asking, wow, who is this one? Where is he coming from? Where was he hiding? Of course, you wouldn't know, except the Pan-African Daily TV would bring out the real good stories of Africa. No other media will beat this. This is the biggest ever broadcast that brings
Thank you
out
for that
Africans
platform.
to talk about their own stories. Thank you very much. The leader is right here. Mr. Razak is the Africa coordinator, and I've been seeing a lot of young people asking how can we create chapters. I gave you the WhatsApp number to actually text us, and we'll redirect you to create your own different chapters in your country, because we are going worldwide. We're taking the world by force, and we are forcing ourselves to lead the world as it continues to be. Okay. So there's no stopping, there's no backing up, not yesterday, not today, not tomorrow. So the country, Africa country coordinator for the PLO Lumumba Foundation is right here. But I just want to step again and talk to this son of the soil, Mr. Nkumbi Jaramu, again about the leadership. The leadership of Tanzania has been very consistent from the time of Excellency Julius Nyerere Malimo,
Mm.
and to the time of this Hassan, and now we move on to Magufuli, and then we
Mm.
move on to Mama Samia Suluhu. I mean, it's just like this country, Tanzania, is really that stepping, that platform for Pan-Africanism. Like you said, we really know all the mentors, Kwame Nkrumah and all the heroes of Africa came to Tanzania and learned. I was there in Dar es Salaam. I went to that conference place. It's now a kind of a resort and a restaurant in Dar es Salaam. But I was there. I went right down to the basement where I asked the hotel director, "Where are the images of the alma maters here?" And he showed
Mm.
me an effigy of a conference that they had, even with Malcolm X when he visited Tanzania, and they had
Mm.
that conference right there. I visited it. Yes, the Queen Mother, the Bamenda girl, was right there. So yes, Tanzania is that root. If you don't know your history, you don't know where you come from, you don't even understand what this Africa we're talking about is. It is time for you to wake up and begin to accept and claim the power that the Creator gave to you as an African to be a leader for your people. So, is it right? The leadership has been consistent, isn't it?
Yeah, so when we talk about leadership in Tanzania, we cannot talk about it without mentioning Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere.
Mm.
When Mwalimu came back from Edinburgh, Scotland, with a master's degree in economic, constitution, and literature, he devoted himself to become a teacher. At the same time, he was studying where to begin so that he may quit the job of teaching and join politics to set his country free from colonization. So he went there to the UK, he hung around with the Europeans, but also while he was there, he was very intelligent. He get to know about uh, there was a Fabian society in UK, and hanging around with them, he got to learn that Tanzania was not a colony. It was a mandate. It was under the League of Nations. So they were waiting for Tanzanians to be ready to take the charge to lead their country. So Mwalimu understood that very well. So when he came from Scotland, Edinburgh, he started to mobilize himself, but also identifying where he could begin. So to cut the long story short, Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere was a very intelligent man, but also humble. The way he connected with the people of the coast, he was not born in Dar es Salaam. He was not born in the coast. He was born in somewhere in Mara in northern Tanganyika, but because he was intelligent, he was able to, found himself in the midst of elders, and he started to explain to them that this is not a colony, this is a mandate. If we mobilize ourselves, we can take charge. We can have freedom. We can chase these colonialists away from our countries. And then the old men, they were asking him, are you sure that we can take these colonialists away from our country? Then Mwalimu said, yes. But the old people, they're also scared. They say, do not take us to 1907, 1905, because that was the Maji Maji War. There was a war in Tanganyika, in Tanzania, called Maji Maji War. Our elders, they were killed by the Germans. So the old men had that history. They say, do not take us there. We don't want to go there. But Mwalimu told them, no, this time is going to be different. What I want your support. I want you to come together. He created something called TANU, which was the first political party. And then he started to mobilize the Tanganyikans from different parts of the country. You know, Tanzania has more than 120 tribes. But Mwalimu, due to his intelligence, through social engineering, he played a miracle. Till today, we are still wondering how he was able to do it, to bring together more than 120 tribes, and he made these different people from different tribal differences, and he made them one. We are still wondering till today. And then he championed the language that we are speaking till today, Swahili language, which is our national language. English is not our first language. Everywhere you go in Tanzania, people speak Swahili, and it has become a unification factor. It's a factor of union. People can understand each other. They speak from their heart. If you want Tanzanians to express themselves deeply, you tell them to use Swahili through the help of Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere. So he achieved that through union and bringing people together. We were able to have peace and unity. You know, our national motto is freedom and unity. There is freedom in Tanzania and unity, which is the bedrock, the foundation of everything you see today. So these other leaders from Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, they have found it easy because the foundation was laid properly. There is no tribalism in Tanzania. Today, I can tell you my mother is Nyiram, my mother is a Nyaturu, my father is a Nyiramba, which are two different tribes. I speak two different local languages. People they marry themselves, people from the south, they marry people from the north, from the east, they marry from the west. It's not, sometimes you may stay with people you do not know their tribe until they mention it. It's a legacy of Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere. But in our neighboring countries, we have countries with only two tribes, but they are fighting and there is war. There is tension. But Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere is the reason why there is peace and harmony. And he also laid a good foundation of succession plan and the respect of term limit. Mwalimu Nyerere, if you remember, was the first African leader to leave power willingly. And there, people like Nelson Mandela came to follow the same footsteps, but Mandela is exceptional. He left power only after first term, but Mwalimu was the first to leave power willingly, and he handed down the baton of leadership to Al-Hassan Mwinyi. He did not want for the Tanzanians to tell him to go. He was the best dancer, but he understood even when you are the best dancer, you have to leave the stage. Yes. So if I may to tell it in a nutshell, the secret of good leadership in Tanzania was because of the foundation Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere laid. And I can tell you, he was the philosophical leader Tanzania has ever had till to date. When you're talking about policies, you're talking about the do's and the don'ts, the culture, and how people behave in many ways. It's because of Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere. So he's not with us. But believe me when I tell you, Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, he's alive and he's present everywhere. If you want to be accepted, whether in politics or in public speeches or in giving opinions, you cannot complete making your points without referring to Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere. He has become a truly an example. Maybe it will take another 100 years or 200 years to get a person like Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere. So we celebrate him so much in this part of the world.
Whew. You see what a foundation does? No, it's not going to take us 200 years because we are already seeing a Julius Kambaba Nyerere right here between us, right here in front of us. The spirit is just here and alive. Thank you so much. I mean, we'll have to do, this is just an introduction, ladies and gentlemen, for all of you that are watching us. This is just an introduction, and we'll be getting back to internal details about country specific. But today we just wanted to actually bounce on to tell you, just to show you a little bit of face of PLO Lumumba Foundation, the kind of leaders that are coming out from this human being, the kind of leaders when we talk about Pan-Africanism, the role modeling of the ancestors of great Africa. The youth, the children that have been championing by the footsteps, walking on the footsteps of their great leaders, those who fought and gave their life and sacrifice and went through under all sort of circumstances to be what we are today, until we can even speak with our own voices and out with our own. So I really just want to thank you, brother. I don't just stay right here. Your president, the Africa coordinator, is here, and we cannot, keep him so long. I know he run out of light, but I think we can get him on audio just for him to even just greet us, because I think I'm going to take him again live tomorrow. If he's not able, we're not able to see him. And so we would continue with yours live, but I want him to share his opinion right here and for the audience to get to know him. Chairman, my president, Razak Awudu, he's the champion, the president. When I said the president, he just got nominated at the beginning of this year by the PLO himself, the great leader, Professor PLO Lumumba, as the Africa coordinator for the PLO Lumumba Foundation, and a young leader, young professional executive leader, Brother Mkumbi, is the country representative for Tanzania, for the United Republic of Tanzania, just so we get it clear. So, My Excellency, you are welcome. You're welcome here. Mr. Razak is also very young.
Thank you very much.
All of them are... Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Dr. Susan Tata. I'm happy to know that now your new name is the Bermuda Queen of Bermuda. That's great. It's good to adopt African name. Yeah, so first of all, I have to apologize to the audience for the power outage in Ghana. We have been facing power outages since the past 2 weeks, so my video will not be able to connect. And then today is a historic day in Ghana. Ghana is celebrating her 67th Independence Day. Legally, we are independent, but politically and economically, we are still dependent. So the struggle continues. And I'm happy to hear from my comrade Joram Nkumbi from Tanzania. I believe that the spirit of Julius Kambarage Nyerere and also the spirit of Kwame Nkrumah and all the founding fathers of Africa lives in him. And I'm hoping to see him to contest for the presidential position of Tanzania in the next 10 years.
Yes.
Yes. So, yes. So on the question on why the youth of Africa are migrating to seek for greener pastures in Europe and also in the Western countries is something that we have to address as Africans. So the first and most important question is, why are they leaving? Why are they leaving? what is the rationale behind those exodus. So about 80% of young people who migrate to Europe and to the Western countries to seek for greener pastures do so basically on economic grounds. So what are the economic conditions that exist in those countries which attract them to migrate to those countries? And also, what are the other factors that compel them to move from Africa? Is it war? Is it conflict? Is it harsh living condition forward as Africa? On the aspect of the foundation, since our inception from the year 1993, and from the past 5 years since we have been creating more
Oh, it's unfortunate. I think you just heard him. They have power failure. Even though today is their birthday, we're saying Happy Independence Day or Happy Political. No, wait, is it even political independence? Because I still don't even know. I don't really know how to really celebrate these independent days of Africa. To be very honest with you, I don't know. I don't know how to say it. I struggle to always celebrate it. But when I look at the economic situation, like he's saying, and I really am sorry. Can you hear us now? Okay, he's been kicked out. We would have him live alone tomorrow. So today, I think that's the reason why his comrade is right here, and he's well suited representing it. So yes, coming back to the topic, was the main topic of our discussion, which we announced, and the question was Africa's youth job seeking in out of Africa, like Europe, America, Canada, and all that, or building wealth on the continent, generational wealth on the continent. I don't know whichever diaspora can build generational wealth in the diaspora as an African migrant, and as also even a diaspora building generational wealth of the continent. I don't know any, but on Africa and on the continent of Africa, we know that that is possible. So that's the topic, like we're saying. What is the reason why young people are migrating? And we and the so-called West, even, or the a lot of what can I say, research and studies that have made a survey to call it a brain drain, like the taking out the best brains of Africa to build the Western civilization again. And what is the reason? And the question we asked was, what do you think it will take to convince Africans on the continent, youth, not to migrate, seeking for greener pastures, and to come back? I don't know, like Maponga said, they come back as Africa, as if Africa is a graveyard. Like they always wait to die. We're only seeing cops coming back. We don't pray for anything like that. So, what is addressing this issue? But before you answer the question, you talked about Swahili. And I wanted to just tease you with one. We have technological terms that are coming up, i.e., chat GTP and all that. And I know you are strategically positioned to give some quote in a Swahili language about these new terms and technology that we're using. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yes. For example, I was amazed by when ChatGPT came, and you can ask a question in Swahili in ChatGPT, and you will find answers in very fine Swahili, and I was amazed by that. There are some errors here and there, but at least in big percentage, even in this AI, the Swahili is already there and it serves the purpose. For example, artificial intelligence In Swahili, we call akili mnemba. Akili mnemba is the artificial intelligence. And the department or the institution responsible for Kiswahili in Tanzania, they are doing a very good work in Kenya or in Africa, in East Africa generally. Every time when there is a new technology, something has happened, they find a word very quickly to describe that new word or new invention. For example, when COVID-19 came here in Tanzania, we came up with the Swahili word for COVID-19. So it's not a big challenge, I can say. Swahili is also growing every single day. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yes.
So
you've done it so perfectly.
Thank you very much. So going to our main agenda of today, our main topic of today, and to assess the entire situation in African continent, why our bright young men and women who are well trained, and even those who are not well trained, they want to leave Africa. They are running away from Africa to other parts of the world. Why like that? Why people are willing to die in the Sahara desert as they are seeking to cross to enter Europe illegally? And some, they even get drowned in Mediterranean Sea each year because they want to enter Europe. Why? There is this force that is, compelling our young men and women, our African, to move away from this continent. There are many reasons, but among of the biggest reasons is also because our friends from other civilizations are very wise. The way they brand their nations through the power of technology and international media, and how they show their countries like heaven, you see in movies, in Hollywood, which is the propaganda machine, and a young person from Africa watching things on TV and on screen, on the internet. You see this Europe is glittering like gold. You see this America is shining. You see these Scandinavian countries are shining, and you say, and everything, they think everything with shine is gold. So they want to go there and live the dream, they go there to experience that kind of life which has been advertised. So it is psychological. So in order to counteract the effect, we also need to change the narrative. Some of our big medias in Africa, and even big medias in other countries, when they show news in Africa, what do they show? They show wars and poverty and culture of conflict. They show diseases, one people fighting another people. So a person living in Africa and seeing the international media framing Africa as a hell, this kind of narration, this kind of stories make these young people believe perhaps they may think they are living in hell and somewhere is heaven. So automatically in their DNA, in their mind, in their spirit, they will want to go there. So this is one among of the factors. And to change the situation, let us control the media. What we show in music, in movies, what we show, we announce on the news. We have to tell the good stories in Africa, like what Chimamanda Ngozi in his book about the single story. When you are telling the single story, it makes other people believe that it's the only story. We need to tell our own story. It's not about Africa, is not about diseases and culture of conflict and poverty like how international media put it, but also our diasporas. They have to be honest to our brothers and sisters in Africa. I understand some of our diasporas have succeeded living outside the continent of Africa, but how many of them? Can we have the statistics? How many of them have become millionaires in Europe, millionaires in USA? And how many of our African brothers and sisters in these countries, European countries or American countries, are living just ordinary life? Maybe they have something to eat on the table, to send their kids to school, but they don't own businesses. They don't own houses. They don't have piece of land. And they have been there for 30 years and 20 years, and they are finding it very difficult to come back to Africa. We see them driving, but really, beyond their family, they have nothing really to show that they have contributed big to these countries. Our engineers, they are working with Google, they are working with these big platforms. But when you tell them to show their contribution in bigger scales, sometimes they can't even show. If a Mercedes-Benz, you may find someone is working in the company of Mercedes-Benz, maybe in the Department of Research and Development. But when a car is already manufactured, a Mercedes-Benz, and you ask your African brother, what is your contribution in this Mercedes-Benz? It's very difficult for them to show. The reason why there is identity crisis in these big international countries outside Africa, you may find young people, they have nothing to do because almost everything has already been built. Good roads, good infrastructure, things are already in place. But when you are in Africa, it is very easy to show your contribution. So this is the high time for young people to realize, if you are going to other countries outside Africa, go there to get exposure, go there to learn and observe, see what is happening there, and see if people are happy. Try to observe beyond the normal environment. Sometimes I have been to the United States of America. I went to Germany. I was in Europe. I visited Poland, and I was observing. When you visit these great countries, what you do, you observe. Are these people the most happiest people in the world? They have good roads. They have good houses. It seems that the system is working. There is order. But why people are not happy? They are not having happy faces. They don't greet each other. They move around with guns. They are killing each other. The records of people killing each other in streets like I don't want to mention. Human being killing another human being is high. People marry themselves, and it's not a guarantee that they will spend the rest of their lives together. They divorce after some times. In these big countries that we see, there is leadership crisis even in families. There is identity crisis. The redefinition of terms. They are defining what marriage is. They are defining who is a woman. They are defining who is a man. We are in the state of confusion. They are more developed, but they are going back to the primitive days. In this time, there is a lot of confusion going on. So when you are talking about development, you have to consider this. It is very difficult to raise your child in this part of the world. When we are talking about development, we have to consider all these factors: the social factors, the family factors, the freedom of an individual. If you are living in a country and you are fearing policemen, I don't want to mention a country, but I can tell you There is a developed country that the number of prisoners, the black prisoners in that country, the numbers of people who have been in prison are many than the entire population of Djibouti. They have been in jail. You go to these countries and you end up being in jail. You marry from these countries, and after some times you find someone is filing a case of divorce. Then your properties are taken, your children are taken, then you are remaining with nothing. We have seen our footballers from Africa. They go there, they play very well, they marry, and after some times they are taken to court. Everything of theirs is taken. So when we are talking about development, we need to assess this. And when you become old, my brother and sisters, when you become old, you are of no use. You are going to be taken to retention houses. No one is going to take care of you. Your children will be busy looking for a bread, because if you can't work, you cannot live. And if you get sick in these countries, my friend, you're going to use every single penny you have collected in your life. The health systems, they take money from you, the taxes, you know. So we need to look in 360 degrees when we call development. What development means by considering all these factors. So we need to tell ourselves and our young people, are we going to take our countries to this direction? Or we need to look within and come up with the leadership system and the governance system that create a better living condition than what we see in these countries that we are dying to go. It has to be some sort of analysis. Our smart men and women from Africa, they must take time to share with us what they are going through in these countries. And I have been there. I have met my brothers and sisters there. And some of them, they are very honest to tell you, I have been here for 20 years or 10 years, but I can tell you, there are moments when these people, they make you feel you are with them, but you do not belong to them. You are living there, but you don't belong there. They will make you feel that you don't belong there. You may speak very fine English, you may copy their accent, you may copy their culture, but there are moments they will make you feel you don't belong there, and that hurts. You are an intellectual, you are a professor, you are contributing to their economy, but they will still make you feel you don't belong there. So however much you will try to hide your identity, they will remind you that you don't belong there. The situation will remind you. So if that is the situation, what can we do now? We have this beautiful continent. I don't say people should only stay in Africa and don't move out of Africa. No, I'm not trying to say that. Because the world is like a little village. My advice, if you go to America, go there. If you go to London, go there. Go there to learn. Follow the advice of Ngugi wa Thiong'o in his book, The River Between. The advice that Chege is giving to his son, Wayaki. He's telling Wayaki, go there and learn the ways of a white man. Go there and learn the magic of a white man. But don't become like a white man. Go there to the Arabs. Learn how they do things and how they conduct themselves. But don't become the Arab man. Go to India. Observe how they do business and how they conduct themselves. What has happened to the Indians? They have become managers of the greatest companies in the world like Google. They are leading these countries. They are taking charge in Silicon Valley in the United States of America. They are leading right now in IT. What has made them special? Go and observe the China man. Their hand is superior now. They are producing things. You go there, you learn, you observe. If you can take technology by force, bring that technology back home. Let the truth be told. No one is willing to give Africa technology. No one is going to give us technology for free. True education is hidden. There is something they call patent right and copyright. True education, you cannot be given scholarship to have it. There is three kinds of education. They call education know what, education know why, and education know how. What they will give you is the education know what. You will know how to describe things. What is chemistry? What is biology? They will give you scholarship to go and study marketing and governance and international laws. But the true education, they will not give you scholarship. They will not teach you how to do reverse engineering to make engines. Those kind of education are hidden with patent right and copyright. So the African people, if they think that somehow our friends from other civilization, they will bring that kind of technology to us, we will wait until the second coming of Jesus, and nothing is going to happen here in this mother continent. We must take technology by force. The Japanese did it. Their young men and women realized that it was a high time for them to go to the Western countries and take technology by force after the 1945, after the Nagasaki and Hiroshima. They realized they needed technology. So it was a national strategy to send their best men and women, not to work there and marry there and stay there forever, but to go there and take technology by force. If it happens, an African child is going to these different countries, let him go there to steal technology. They must go there to steal things with their eyes, with their spirit, and bring that innovation back home. We need Silicon Valley in Africa. We need the Silicon World in Africa. We need engineers in Africa to create our own mobile phone, to build our own electric cars. We like driving cars, and we like watches. When we like these inventions, can we create them for ourselves? Yes, we can, if we put the right kind of mindset. So if you go there with the mind of taking it by force, technology by force. The Chinese, they also steal technology by force. The Japanese, they did it. The Arab, they are doing it till today. The Singaporean, they are doing it till today. So we cannot continue to lament about colonialism, to lament about what our friends have done to us. Yes, they did something horrible and terrible, and we should remind ourselves about that. But lamenting will not get us to the promised land. We are not the only race which has been oppressed. The Cambodians, they were also bombed. The Vietnamese, they were bombed. They were also poor like us. But when they decided to put their hands together and to respect themselves, and through the right kind of leadership, a country like Singapore, through the leadership of Lee Kuan Yew, within 20 years, they catapulted themselves from being the third world to the first world. It is possible. The story of Dubai, from nothing into something. It is possible. We can also take ourselves to the promised land, to where we want, but with the right kind of leadership. We cannot build our continent if our young and the best mind, they are running away from their continent. And when they reach there, they become Europeans. When they reach there, they become Americans. They even change accent. They don't want to be recognized that they come from Africa. And that is the beginning of pain. When you are hiding from your identity, that is the beginning of pain, because you are not going to become them. And they will remind you that you are not them, that it pains even more. And when you become old, you realize you have wasted so much time struggling to become a European and struggling to become an American. And then at the end of the day, you realize, kumbe, that was something which was not possible. But the time is now. Put your acts together. See if you can do something in Africa. I was sharing with my friend Osman Turi from Gambia. They have created an organization in Gambia that have started to mobilize the diaspora to go back to Africa, to come back to Africa. And we have our young brothers and sisters, and even our fellow Africans in these countries. Some of them, they want to come back home, but they don't know where to begin. And if they come, what are they going to do? Some of them, they have never set foot in Africa. They were born there and they are wandering. So they have started that organization to tell, and they even give them loans to start business in Africa. Not all the diaspora, they have money. Some of them, they are stuck. It is very painful that they are stuck. They are homeless. They have been there for 30 years and nothing they have done. So they are scared to come back home. After 30 years, you only have 2 children. You don't have an apartment. You don't have a piece of land. You only have a car, which is also old. They are very, they are living in sadness. So we also need to feel sorry for them and help them come back home. Not in a way of despising them, no, but in a way of saying, our fellow brothers and sisters, it's time now to come back home. And also to our brothers and sisters in these big countries who have made it in life. We have very successful entrepreneurs from the African descent. These also can help us to support their fellow Africans to come back home, to start business, like what Econ and other Africans are trying to do. They are conscientizing our fellow Africans. Let's go back home. Let's do something good in Africa. So by combining all these factors, perhaps the spirit of our young men and women wanting to move out of Africa, that spirit, that bad spirit will be exorcised by telling the truth and showing our young people how to do it. It will help to exorcise this bad spirit. And of course, we need to give them skills. You may find nowadays people go to university, you stay in the university for 4 years, 5 years, and then you graduate with a degree of procurement, and then you're going back to the village. What are you going to procure in your village? And you have started procurement at the university, and marketing and sales. You are a marketing and sales manager. What are you going to sell in your village? You don't know even how to do agriculture. So you have been miseducated. So it's a time not to complain, but it's a high time to realize that I have been miseducated. I've studied the wrong course at the university. And you take a very proactive approach. Wamba, I have spent my 4 years and they have trained me into something that I was not supposed to be trained. And then you say, okay, now what can I do? If you can join the Mamamboga in the market, join the Mamamboga and see how they do business. It's not too late. See where they get their goods and how they sell. See how you can start keeping animals in your little village. Be relevant. So slowly by slowly, you will find something to do instead of just wanting to run away from Africa. And even to our educated Africans, if you are a PhD holder right now and you say, I'm going to German, if you go to German right now and you are a PhD holder, they don't recognize you, whether you have gone to school. So you're going to start from fresh. and then you're going to start from fresh. They don't understand your education. So it's very painful, you know. So what is that? So the colonialism is still there. So they will say, okay, put your PhD certificates. You are going to start from fresh. You are a teacher, you are a lecturer. Who are you going to lecture? You are going to lecture the European kids. Then you have a PhD from Africa. You are not educated. You have been miseducated. They have that kind of mindset. So it's tough. You know, if you are running away from Africa and you are an educated person, you have a PhD, the first job you are going to do if you get there, you will start by cleaning these old houses. And then you will become a driver after some times. And then you will do this supermarket kind of job. Then, you know, these little jobs. And after some times, you will start to re-educate yourself into the system. And you will find yourself spending another 10 years or 5 years to get into the system. So it's not easy. It's not that because you are a lecturer at a certain university in Africa and all of a sudden you become a lecturer in some of the universities in these big countries. No, it's a big no. So understand these dynamics, you know, and take time to study, and also our fellow Africans can help us to, you know, understand the situation in these big countries. So having said that, I would love to stop here and listen from other people and my fellow colleagues what they have to say. Thank you very much.
Hi. Whew. I have my German daughter with here, right here, and she's listening. She's just laughing. I have my German daughter. Come and say
Oh,
hello. Just come and show your face to them. Let them see. I have children of all colors right here.
oh,
She's my German daughter. Yeah, she
oh!
says,
I was in Germany. I was in Germany last year. I visited Berlin, Oranienburg, Frankfurt Oder, Templin. Yeah, you have a beautiful country.
thank you.
Mm.
Thank you. Good. So I'm just laughing because the whole time that you really, putting this kind of stuff out here, like I said, I'm a mother of children of all nation, and exactly what you are saying, I don't even know how we can paraphrase anything. There's nothing to paraphrase here. It's the fact. Why am I presenting my German daughter to you? I have a lot of them, boys, girls, all Germans in this house because our children are here, they're born here, all the whole family. And this is what we teach the young people. Why am I saying so? Because this language that you are teaching us, even the elders here, the Germans teach their children from birth,
Mm.
from
Mm.
kindergarten, from nursery schools. Their curriculum is focused on how to take pride in being a German. And so they don't need anything. They go to other countries for exploring, for learning and experiences, how experiencing all other countries to gain more knowledge of it. Now, particularly the German curriculum is teaching about, and the European, not only German, because Africa is rising. You go on the school curriculum, they're teaching their children about Africa, the potentials of Africa, the economy of Africa. We have a trendy video that we posted on Pan African Daily TV TikTok. You guys can check it out. Just put Pan African Daily TV TikTok. And it's a young British guy, kid. He's 9, or I think between 9 and 11 years. He gave us presentation about the statistics of Africa,
Mm.
and he
Mm.
shut down the whole parliament. I would love to share it here, but really I'll ask you to go on TikTok. We posted it 2 days ago, but it is in a 1 million something. The kind of statistics that African children themselves have no clue about. How rich, how potential full, the opportunities that they have. And this young kid shut the British Parliament in a presentation by saying, if you are fooling yourself by lying to us that Africa is the poor continent, then you need to know what is happening in your own economy. That is the young and kids that will hold us accountable for everything that we are doing. So I really want to thank you so very much because you're speaking a lot to us. You see, Brohida Aqua is right here. He's my junior sister. We all came here to Germany. You know, you're speaking, it's like you're addressing us, like you're telling us it, like you're there for 20, 30, 25 years, and you will come back and go to your village and do what? And be a doctor of what? You go back to the farm. And you have to learn. You have to learn even just how to, to put food together and to be able to eat and grow crops. Who are you going to teach exactly like you said? So I thank you so much. I don't even know how I can say it, but the spirit of the leadership of Africa is being represented. And I want to thank especially Professor PLO Lumumba. I don't know whether you have time to watch this conversation to see your work, to see the spirit that you are waking up through their ancestors and the great warriors of Africa to represent in these other bodies that we are seeing right here. And hey, champion, like you already said, we're putting you on the list of the next president of Tanzania. We already know that. And because every young leader that is being mentored by the PLO Lumumba Foundation and all the really relevant foundation in the need of leadership and good governance and stopping of this brain gain in the West and brain drain from the continent, all of them are potential leaders and presidents of their countries. Give them 10, 15 years of today. So if you think, not only think, if you're convinced, like my young brother said, or convicted that I want to make a change, that I know that I can make it. We already passed that level. We're only here to just push you because how many years are we going to take to be into that? I thank you so very much. President Razak, I know you have been struggling and struggling. I know you just want to say even a word, you're hearing us, but like I said, I'll take you on your interview tomorrow full time. Just
Yes.
you can hear us. Yes.
Yes, that will be fine. I've been struggling to get access to power, but it's quite unfortunate. So hopefully tomorrow we can make it a date tomorrow. Yes, but I've been
Yes.
following you and I've very impressed about the message and the enthusiasm of my brother General Nkumbi from Tanzania. I'm really impressed about his submission and his presentation. And I know that the spirit of their founding fathers in Tanzania is with him always. If you look at his face, he resembles Julius Nyerere.
I'm humbled, bro.
It is him.
Yes. So together we will make Africa great. This year is an African year. This year we have to make the foundation presence felt across Africa and the diaspora. We will bring in a lot of initiative this year, including the PL Africa Mentees Club project, which seeks to nurture young people across basic schools, secondary schools, and tertiary in Africa, to be mentored and to inculcate in them the spirit and ideals of Pan-Africanism, and also to nurture them with African values and culture and our aspirations together as Africans. And also, we very soon, I think the next month or so, we will launch the PLO Pan-African Quiz Competition, the second edition, which seeks to bring on board young people to compete on various ideas and knowledge on Africa, which includes political history of Africa, as my brother mentioned, from OAU to AU, and also the great civilization empires that existed before the colonial rule in Africa, such as the empire and the kingdom of Gao, Soninke, Egyptian Empire, the Axum, and other empires, old Asian Ghana Empire. So we want young people to learn the history of Africa, because Africa belongs to young people. According to the AU, in the year 2063, Africa is projected to be the most populous continent in the world. And this projection will be possible when young people are being nurtured and mentored to assume leadership positions in the future. So the future is Africa, and I'm happy that the Pan African Daily TV and the work of
We know his statement, isn't it? And the work of Dr. Susan Tata, Bamenda girl. That's what he was about to say. I know it. We know who we are. Thank you, Razak. I'm so sorry. Yeah, we're going to have the full coverage of his broadcast tomorrow. Please do not miss out on this. This is going to be a very unique broadcast also. This week, we're going to be staying on youth in focus. Even the Pan African Daily TV Youth will be launching this chapter here. And what is the use and what is the work of the Pan African Daily TV Youth? They are going to work together with all the representatives of the PLO Lumumba Foundation coordinators to be able to report on the work of all these chapters to create this one body that we call the Africa we want. So we're very happy about that. And I've seen in the comment some people that are talking about joining and creating the country, being country directors in their various country. I already mentioned it. That if you're interested, please email us at panafricandailytv@gmail.com, whether you are in the diaspora. And another official announcement that I'm just saying it, I would confirm it. It is either Professor PLO Lumumba would be in Germany in June at the Africa Festival in Tübingen or Moja Africa, or he is going to send Juramo Nkumbi and Razak to represent him to officially launch the branch in Germany. Yes, which is really going to be on the leadership of the Africa We Want, our organization here, in which we are going to create the other branches in Austria, in Switzerland, in France, in UK. All these countries out here are going to have country representative. A lot of people already signing up. We haven't had a country representatives from the diasporas, countries like America, and America is really huge. I see Cheryl and Sinovia are here. I think they'll be putting up a structure out there. And I also saw my followers from Louisville, Kentucky, where the Africa We Want Global is also represented and registered out there. So we're going to see a lot. I saw a brother here or a sister asking if there's a representative in the Caribbean. I think she wants to take up that leadership. Marshall Lawrence was already here. St. Martin's would like to take up a leadership position out there. So if you are that African and that youth, it doesn't mean it's only men. In the PLO Lumumba Foundation, a lot of girls will be coming up and they will speak the same language like you see our brother coming up. And that is, I think, our responsibility as the seniors now to just watch our young flowers, this intellect and this spirit vibe and take over civilization to make some corrections in the world, how much we can live peacefully again. I think Razak is here to end his are you here now, Razak, Mr. President? Wow. Unmute. President Razak, you can unmute. Okay. I just think tomorrow is going to be his day. You know, the ancestors want us to get this one here. His is already putting. Before I want to end up this conversation, we still have about 20 minutes to go. You talked about you have authored 6 books, 6 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you just list them because we're starting a book club also on the Pan African Daily TV. That's also one industry that we are really interested in. All the young leaders and all the authors of Pan African books would actually be given to Pan African Daily TV for promotion, for sales, for everything. And they're actually putting up, if you're an author coming up with Africa, with a book on the Africa we want, I mean, whether it's African spirituality or it's language or it's ancient African civilization or stories about Africa, anything that elevates the spirit of unity and solidarity of one Africa, please know that this is your audience for your book presentation, but also for your book sales club. Okay. So I just want to make that real quick and thank you for being here. So over to you. You authored 6 books. 6.
Yeah, as I have said earlier, my first book was to, after doing a deep research about Tanzania, because you cannot really take the baton of influence in your land without understanding the history of your land, the constitution, where the country has come from, its heroes, and people who were there in the beginning. So it was very important in the beginning to get to know Tanzania and to know Africa very well. So I wrote about the role Tanzania played in the liberation struggle, fervent Pan-Africanism, and patriotism. I also highlighted and I've written quite much about other great African leaders in that book. When Nelson Mandela came to Tanzania and how he was supported by Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, the same to Samuel Safi Shuna Nujoma, the same to Robert Mugabe, and even Robert Mugabe wrote a book to thank Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere. He wrote a book called Thank You Mwalimu. You know, he highlighted the things and the support he got from Tanzania. So that was my first book. My second book, I wrote about the spirit of entitlement. And the spirit of entitlement is manifested in different spheres of life, in politics. And we have leaders who think they deserve so much and they are untouchable. And also children of leaders, they feel they deserve so much. And so when they get an opportunity to serve their community, they don't do it from the bottom of their heart. They think those positions where they deserve those kind of positions. So it really creates an environment where it becomes very difficult for a country to go forward. They even create these kind of political dynasty, you know, kind of groups that eliminate others. So I've highlighted that spirit of entitlement in the family level and even to the youth, because you're young. Sometimes you think you deserve so much and everything has to be given to you, and you're just there, you're just complaining, and because you're young and people should, you know, pay attention to you. But in most cases, if you are consumed by this kind of spirit, you will not be grateful to the gift of life, and you will not put the right energy and commitment to achieve. You know, the world is a very uh, um, difficult place. The world is dangerous. It is full of betrayal, full of malevolence. And if you're not putting your hands together to fight, you know, nothing is going to be given to you in a silver platter. So really, this book emphasizes the person who has the most to do with you as an individual, as a person, is you. If you can pull up your socks and you don't look right or left, you don't look someone has not done something to you, and you put yourself at the center and you pick a certain responsibility and you carry it with all of your, every fiber of your body, lo and behold, you'll be able to achieve greater things. If it happens other people support you, well and good. If you get recognized by other people, well and good. If you're not recognized, but you're still doing the best that you can, and also you also take this life as a gift. You don't deserve to be alive. If it happens you're alive, then you are among of the lucky people. You wake up in the morning with this kind of commitment. Oh, thank God, today I'm alive. I can do this. I have 2 eyes, I have legs, I'm still young. And so the spirit of entitlement, it really teaches how to appreciate the opportunity that we have been given. And also I wrote a book about leadership and mentorship, the importance of being mentored and submitting to people who know more than you. There are many young people who think that they are smart, they are intelligent, they know technology, and know they think that the old people are out of fashion. No, don't you ever think like that. We and our ancestors, we are one. You think those of Kwame Nkrumah, they did nothing, and those of Mwalimu Nyerere nothing, that you are intelligent enough to begin from the sky and to build the future you want? No, you build from the foundation which is already laid. You first of all commit to understand their mind and their level of thinking. You take advantage of the past, what they were able to, you learn from their mistake. In that way, you galvanize yourself. You become a full package of the past, of the present, and of the future. If you're not deep rooted, you'll become like a tree which has no roots. With a little wind of modernity, you will fall down. You really you become really very weak. So leadership and mentorship, it also recognize the importance of submitting to people who have practical life experiences and learning from them. And also another book I've written about the economic woes, scars and pain, and I have tried to do some research to also, getting to understand how the world works and how these big countries uh, do their work, how they play their cards to make sure that Africa continue to be in this lower stage forever, because they are benefiting from it, from its natural resources, from so I've written about this book about the economic situation in Africa. And also another book that I've written is Travel with Your Soul and Your Eyes Wide Open. Every time when I travel to these international big countries, I go there to learn. I open up my eyes. The other time I was in a Capitol Hill in the United States of America, and I was in the White House. I could look this beautiful White House, and then I marvel at it and how wonderful and how beautiful it is. But when I was looking at it, I asked myself, who built it? It was a combination of joy but also of sadness, because I knew that the White House was built by slaves. These wonderful civilizations, the Europe and America, were built by slaves. The gold that they have, the minerals that they have gotten, the kind of influence that they have, where did they got all these kind of money and goals and stuff like that? It was our old men and women, our African brothers who were working in the plantations. So you learn, but also the construction of the Capitol Hill, at the top of it, you see exactly the symbol of the Pyramid of Egypt. They also borrowed the mathematics knowledge from Egypt, and then they use it to advance their civilizations. So you open up your eyes, you witness, you see what our friends have done it, and you see if you can also try to influence it back home. I have written a book about that, to try to compare and also to see what our friends are doing better than us, and what we are doing better than them. I've written a book about that. And other two books, I've written them in Swahili, which is about Ulumbi na Walumbi. That book is very deep in the Swahili language. I'm challenging my fellow Tanzanians, those who think they know Swahili. I have used very difficult proverbs and a lot of vocabularies to challenge them. I'm speaking like those of 1950s and 40s. So I've written a book about that. And also I have written a book about yes, the spirit of entitlement. There are four. There are six: spirit of entitlement, leadership and mentorship, the role that Tanzania played in the liberation struggle, travel with your eyes and soul wide open, the spirit of entitlement, and I think the role Tanzania played in the liberation struggle. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
Ooh.
So
Wonderful.
yes. Thank you very much.
We cannot thank you so much. We cannot really thank you. The one good thing that I want to share here is our 6 channels are live,
Mm,
and we're still calling on everyone to subscribe to this channel, because one of the biggest channel, I think it's channel
mm,
3 or channel 4, is African languages. And you already have the mentor of Swahili sitting right here. He's going to be your
mm,
teacher, he's going to be
mhm,
your mentor, everything
mm,
that has to do. So, like, what is going to happen on the channel is what he's actually saying here. He was speaking it only in Swahili. Okay.
mhm, mm,
And so, because language, as you said, without it, no identity. Here in Germany, when my daughter looks at me, sometimes I try to, he's picking up English, because English is a foreign language in Germany. Let me just take only that first for us to be clear. English is a foreign language in Germany, because
mhm.
German language is the official
Language.
language in everything. You speak English here, they look at you as if you are, and they would say it's not their language.
Yeah,
English is a foreign language in France. Foreign
yeah.
language. They consider it as a foreign language.
Mm,
Okay. So when we begin to put it, English is a foreign language in China. It's China, in India, in
mm,
Russia.
yeah,
All the countries that have positioned their language as a strong, powerful tool, English is a foreign language to them. Now you
yeah.
go to the UK or to part of Canada and Scotland and America, and then English is their traditional language.
Mm,
Because sometimes just breaking it into pieces make us really understand when we talk about language.
mm, mm,
Because sometimes you ask an African today, what languages do you speak, or what are your languages? You say French and English, particularly in the colonial. These are colonial languages. These are foreign languages.
mm,
It's a foreign languages. If you're speaking English, like you say, we even try to mimic, and even the accent is totally different. Until you speak to me in my dialect, then come tell me if you're really a true son of Africa or daughter. Now we see our diaspora fighting hard to learn Swahili, because the African Union Chat Agenda 2063 is actually implementing Swahili to be the continental language, diplomacy language. That's going to be our business language, as a matter of fact. Because exactly, English language is a business language. That is why you go everywhere, they're using it, because the Brits were the people that started, moving from place to place, colonizing people. When
mm,
they take
mm,
you, they put their language and all these things, stealing lands and everything, committing all sort of war crimes that nobody has even doing it to their neighbors, France and Germany and everything, Britain. And that's
mm,
why English became so popular in the whole world, because of that.
mm,
So,
mm,
what
mm.
is your own language as an African? Your own language as an African is Swahili. Of course, we have our mother tongue, individual languages in the village, but now Swahili is going to be the official language where all Africans in the world, and even our Germans and our Europeans, they're learning it already for business purposes.
Mm, mm,
They're
mm,
already studying they're studying Swahili. I have a lot of
mm,
German colleagues and counterparts, particularly diplomats. German
mm,
diplomats, they speak Swahili, they speak Wolof like nobody else, because they know that is the future. For their children to do business with Africans, they would have to speak Swahili in the coming future. So, but imagine
yeah.
that you who are the Africans, exactly like we're talking about our minerals, and they come even to do business with you, and they speak to you in your own language, and you don't know. And that's what always makes us look at them as demigods. It was like, how do they just know some things that even our own we don't know? So I really want to
Mm,
thank you about that. Swahili is going to be a perfect course where we're going to publish and to ask people to sign, to learn it, to catch the vocabularies. I myself have made up my mind. I want to learn Zulu language. I want to learn Swahili. I want to learn Hausa. I want to learn um, um, ah, Not Twi, not Ghana. Oh, come on. There's another third language, Wolof. Wolof, I want to learn them. It is possible. We come to Germany in 6 months. You speak and write German and work in German. It's the system that puts those kind of regulations. If we decide today with our brother Nkumbi and said 6 months we're going to speak Swahili, all of us here will speak that Swahili. Is it a lie? Is it difficult,
Yeah,
Brother
you
Gerard?
can speak. Swahili is a very is among of the simplest language to learn. What you see, the letters you read like how they are written, not like other languages. You write something different, you pronounce something different. But Swahili, what you see is actually how it is pronounced. You say the word as they are written. It's very easy language to learn.
Mhm, mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. That's a very key point. Like,
Mm.
you see, that's the thing. Even with English, that is a foreign language all over the world, they
Mm.
always, you see, in English, they will tell you it depends on the context meaning of it. So a
Yeah.
word cannot just be a word. But in Swahili, maji means water. As
Hmm.
simple as that. Maji means water. It doesn't depend the context of which, whether the water is green or is removed from this or is
Hmm.
bio water or not. It's water, maji. So
Yeah.
yes, 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 we can learn it. It's Novia.
Yeah,
It's
you
coming.
you can
It's
learn,
coming.
and there are many sessions on YouTube, Swahili for beginners. You can start to educate yourself slowly by slowly. You will see how simple Swahili is to learn.
Yeah, we want to make it as a discipline on Pan African Daily. That's why we made that
Mm,
extra
mm.
channel because it's really easy. Like you talk about leadership. Leadership needs leaders. We need at
Yeah.
some point those that are not awoken, our young people, to push them into the action. And I think it's time to do. That's why we created those channels. I mean, all the community reports that will be happening on that channel, they will speak in their local dialect, whether it's Bafut, whether it's Mankon, whether it's
Mm,
Meta,
mm.
whether it's. So you see, like in a small province, like from Bamenda, we have different multiple languages. What are we trying to do with that channel? We're trying to bring all our elders and those that did not study the colonial English language to be able to understand the agenda of Africa. And most of it, we're talking about the leadership, but we're communicating at a level where we don't reach to the grassroots. So breaking down the concept of pan-africanism, we are starting to do it in the different languages according to their localities. So when we take one agenda, we break it. In Germany is not a unique language, it's an official language, but the different provinces and tribes like the Bayern people, they speak another kind of a German that is not. So it doesn't matter when we begin to think in Africa, oh no, like you said, we have about how many tribes in Tanzania or in West Africa? There
More.
are a lot.
Mm, mm.
But unifying, like you said, I want you to repeat it again because that's a closing remark. When you said Excellency Julius Nyerere, what
Mm.
he did was to unify the 190 or how many tribes
120, 120
120
tribes
tribes in Swahili in Tanganyika with just a
now.
single language, isn't it? Go ahead.
Yes. So
You know,
right
so
now
some people don't know.
in the parliament they use Swahili. All the national news um, communicated in Swahili. So everything in Swahili, the music, the movies, the announcements, the bangles in Swahili. So people have their tribes. I speak to local languages. My mother's local language, my father local language, but still, Kiswahili is our national language, so everybody knows it. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much. Thank you. We just rounding up at the right time. We know we will be having you because you're already not only as a mentee, you're a country represented, a country director. Can you explain your role? Because when we hear country directors, because a lot of people would want to also be country directors, but we're telling them the leadership and the mentorship would start from you that are already long on this, serving on these foundations. What is actually the representation or the role of a country director of a PLO Lumumba Foundation?
I think you are the first person that you have been entrusted with the vision, and your job, if you become a director, is to make sure that the vision of unifying Africa, to make sure that the ideas of great Pan-Africanists are achieved. So you begin by recruiting and mentoring other people to come and join you in secondary schools, at the university level, where people are already, it's very easy to find them in these settings. You begin in primary schools, secondary schools, and university. And later on, you open up, like those who want to join, they're outside university, outside secondary school. You join them, you connect them in WhatsApp group. The conversation about Africa continues. You keep sharing here and there what is happening in the world. You do some Zoom session here and there, just to be in one spirit, to speak about the Africa we want, and to tell ourselves and to remind ourselves about the common enemies of Africa and what we are facing, and also together strategizing to take ourselves to the next level. So, and also to represent PLO himself. For example, if there is something he wants in Tanzania and people want to access him in Tanzania and he's not in Tanzania, in Kenya. So you stand as a gap, as a bridge to unite and to connect him with the people in the respective country. So these are some of the responsibilities that I do as a country director. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And we'll be having you after. I mean, you're already on board to mentor and to showcase the work and to empower others, as you said in your book. And the books will be available. I already saw people asking how they can reach out, how they can buy it. It will be available on Pan African Daily TV. Just text us. Any of the books that you want would be served where you are, right where you
Yeah.
are. So,
All of my book are available on Amazon. I can share the
yes,
link with you. All of them are available on Amazon.
go ahead. You can just post it. If you share it to me on WhatsApp, I'll put it right here first.
Yeah, I will
So
share with you
yes.
on WhatsApp.
Oh my God, look at my genius sister right there saying, I am happy I did not miss this program. Very educating. Thank you so much, Aqua. Thank you. And we want to see you as a mentor for the PLO Lumumba, Hilda, because when he was here in Germany, you were the first Bamenda girl and the woman who went and embraced him, brought your children to him, brought your husband to him to just take a wonderful picture. I have that picture. I have that picture right here, Brunhilda Aqua. So yeah, you can be the leadership of PLO Lumumba Foundation in your community here in Germany. So we look forward to that. Yes. So thank you very much. The Maasai song. Somebody said, don't forget the Maasai song. We can never forget that, Mr. Sir. You know that. We can't. Right? Yes. So thank you so much, brother. Thank you so very much. And we look forward to having you again anytime soon on Pan African Daily TV. Asante sana.
Thank you very much for your time and commitment and for inviting me. God bless you.
Tuko pamoja.
Pamoja sana, pamoja daima.
Pamoja daina. Thank you. Asante
Pamoja
sana.
daima.
Good night. Yeah, karibu. I cannot thank you so much. 1 million women 2025. Cheryl, your ancestors have heard you. We said it here. 100 women. 1 million. What am I talking about? 1 million 2025. You're going to see something. 1 million. So all of you, Sandra, thank you. Don't worry that you came late. You didn't miss anything. The conversation is right here. You would have it. You would have everything that you need. And yes, do not forget Linktree is up with all the channels of Pan African Daily TV. I think Patrick is putting it right here. Patrick, and just flank it up. Go and subscribe to all this channel. Brohilda, You're going to be the representative of Pan-African Daily in Germany in our province. Bronhida, I know you're watching me, okay? So, yes. And anybody that wants to sign up to be a country representative, it's not just about the PLO Lumumba. I'm taking that. We took that initiative to follow up these young people because PLO Lumumba Foundation is, like I said in the beginning, is not afraid of young people. It's not. Other leaders are. Other leaders are so afraid of the young people to hand over power. Okay, they're afraid just of them just being. It's just like a child, father, son, mother, daughter that is jealous of the son and afraid that the son is becoming more powerful than him and will set some conditions. You know, if you don't do this, you will not get my inheritance. You know, if you don't do this, I will not give you this. This kind of young leadership is saying, keep it to yourself, Father. We would do more than what you did. So we would build the legacy to continue. So that's the kind of relationship PLO Lumumba Foundation is having with the young people. That's why you see them speak majestically. Like they are the inheritance, the ancestors in a new format. And you see the spirit, you see the power in their tone, you hear articulations, you see the vibrancy, you see, yes, they travel for knowledge, they analyze, they open their ears and their eyes to hear what is on the ground. Don't just travel anyhow. No, just be, you travel for a purpose. That's how my siblings, my German counterparts, our friends, like you said, from other civilizations, that's how they travel. They just don't travel and forget themselves. They don't just have nationalities and become the people. No, they remind themselves of, yes, I might have a German passport, but hey, Dr. Susan Tata, you're a Bamenda girl from the village. Yes, that's it, unapologetically. So I want to thank you, our dear friends, and we want to thank what we're always doing here is a contribution, Africa's contribution for global peace and solutions. At some point, if the West cannot handle it, Africa can take up the leadership and bring in even just their smiles, their dance, their stories, their poetry. It just call us up and bring the mix that the world needs right now. Because right now, you've seen a lot of changes. People just fed up. After COVID, people have just been systems, economic systems are struggling. And if you imagine if the economic systems are struggling, what about your individual lives? Because that energy that came that really put people down, most have lost their job, systems are trying to reboot each other. A lot of businesses, a lot of events have collapsed. Big mega events that we used to think this is everlasting, most of them have given up the ghost. They've died, just like humanity dies. So this kind of energy that is coming now is that healing, and Africa can really, and that's why Africa is coming up again to do what? To heal the world, because it's Mother Nature. Mother Nature. You heard me? Mother Nature. Mother of humanity, whether black, purple, white, short, tall, rich, poor, whatever. Mother of humanity. And you need to take your space right there. So thank you. We're going to be having Razak is also a firebrand, and he is even the boss of our brother Nkombi. But he's more really strategic on how the foundation works and the modalities of the foundation. Like you heard him talk about the quiz that is coming up. We're also going to stream that quiz right here live. That's why we're the media partner or the media sector that is going around and creating and empowering these voices on each of these communities. So I want to thank you very much. And we see us tomorrow. Thank you, Synovia. Thank you. I mean, the cold is still there. You can see here a little bit, and I keep drinking my tea. That's why my daughter is here. She's just here taking care of me for the whole week, making tea and stuff like that, and cleaning, and just making sure I'm fine. And they interchange with all my other children that I have. Now, I'm not only Mother Africa and Queen of Africa for you Africans, okay? I'm Mother World, I think, at some point in time. Right. So, yes, thank you so very much. I love you. And I thank you for the energy that you're giving our young people, particularly you, my queens. Indigo, Brunhilda, Cheryl, Sandra, all of you, reparations, please. I mean, I'm not sidelining our guys, our young executive. Domizo is right here, Raymond. But I'm saying that this energy of mother, the mother mind, the mother spirit to mother all its children worldwide, that is our duty. And the time is now for the mother mind to rise up, to heal the sick world, the broken in spirit, the lost and not found, the voiceless, the less privileged, as we call them. It is the time right now. It is the time. Those that have gone through all the pain. We also have a show coming up with our broken women that are going through a lot. We started that show last week with women whose children has been taken away from them for whatever reason, and these women are just broken. They're psychologically in torture. This is also one of the biggest sector where we need to leave them to just speak and we just listen like we did. So this week I'll also be having a queen from Germany who reached out to me through that conversation. She just wants to share her story and let us just listen to her. She has this spirit that she just wants to tell her story to her brothers and sisters. Let somebody just only listen. She'll be fine. So yes, she'll be coming live, and I like Sandra is here, would back her up, and a lot. But there are also beautiful stories. We're going to be sharing couples love right here. We also have a channel for that. Couples who say, you know what, it's tough in being together in this stuff, but look, this is how we do it, with one spirit and one love. So there's going to be a lot. There's a lot coming up on all the channels. We're just asking you again to go subscribe on all this channel, all, not just one. This is the mother channel. We hit 100,000 here. It's okay. This is the mother. This is the main. But we have channel 2, channel 3, channel 4, channel 5, channel 6. Yes. That's the power. We might reach channel 10, but let's keep the 6 first. So please, you go subscribe to all the channels one after the other, and you'll see how we're changing, and to get our 1 million women by 2025 to start mothering and taking care of the world and our people. Thank you so much. Thank you. So we see ourselves tomorrow, same time. Good people, I wish you good night, and I bless you and your families wherever you are. Any one of you that actually have been here, that have listened to this conversation, and that has been blessed with a message that has come out from our young leader, our champions. Any of you in the chat here that have watched this conversation, that has been empowered and inspired and motivated, please just share that love among your people. Tell the stories to your children. Watch Pan African Daily TV. It's not a content creator. We are not a business entity. We are a non-economic and non-profit organization, just telling our stories from our perspective, inspiring one another, waking up the spirit of the Most High and the God of our ancestors into us. So you can download. It's a children-friendly program where you can teach your children. You can sit one day and you relaxing. Just go on one of our videos and you click it, right? And you discuss it with your children at home. That's why we're building this legacy here, for our children, for our people, for us ourselves, and for humanity as a whole. I can tell you, and I didn't know that my German counterparts, buy your Germans, be your Germans, are following Pan-African Daily TV like no other. Okay. And they send thanks and congratulate us for the work, and that they're also learning. They're learning a lot. So yes, we have a responsibility. Okay. We have a big responsibility, and we love our job. We love what we do, because we're not paid to do it. We do it with passion for us, for our people, for our children, for our generation, for humanity, for anybody that needs love, anybody that is doubting, anybody that is in pain. Come to us on Pan African Daily. We just talk and laugh and share who we are. Nobody is bigger than the other. Our community is as big as we are. Our individual selves, the guests that are coming here, we don't share on our continent or on our platform. I don't give questions. Have you seen me do that? Never. We speak from the heart. We don't give questions. They don't research topics. We just post what's coming up. So feel free. Just come and talk to us. Share the little knowledge that you have, your experiences, anything that can help any soul on the earth to just be happy for a day by listening to us, we have to stand up for one another. Because sometimes you think you have a problem. Listen to other people, and you'll be grateful for every minute that you're alive. And the fact that you're alive means you have work to do, not for yourself only. You are a mirror of the humanity that you carry in you. So Africans everywhere is the story of Africa. If your continent, they see it in you. So how do you represent? Yes, we drink water and mind our African business. We do that. I can't wait for us to gather with the PLO Lumumba Foundation in June. Those of you that will not be able to come to Germany, to Tübingen at the Diaspora Global and Africa Worldwide meeting at the festival, please don't worry. Do not worry. You can send, like we have our representations coming from each delegation. And even if you miss it, we're with you in spirit. But we want you to just know that we're gathering in Germany from June 6th to June 9th, 4 days of a pilgrimage where we share our joy, our story, we eat together, we dialogue, we communicate, we showcase our traditions, our culture, our beautiful attires, handmade clothes. You know, we buy from our little mothers and sisters and traders that are creating and keeping the African culture alive. Like we say all the time, when you walk in the marketplace, any place that you are, you see a brand that is promoting Africa. Whether it's a scarf, whether it's a kinky hair, what anything, please buy it. Just buy it. Because these are the ones that keep the representative of Africa alive. Don't say it's his business. Don't just say, he's doing it for himself or for herself, or he's making money. No, June 6th to June 9th. Thank you, Brother Madi. Peace. June 6th to June 9th, we'll be gathering for 4 good days in Germany, Tübingen. Yes, and we're going to share everything African, and we dance with, everything. Our brothers from Jamaica attended last year, and they are putting up another delegation. They call themselves the Buffalo Soldiers. The Buffalo Soldiers of the Caribbean. You know what that is. And this year, they're coming. They sent 1 representative last year, and this year they're coming 10. Yes, that's how we begin to. Small. 1 basket, 1 seat, like Snovia said. So yes, thank you. You'll be there. Thank you very much. Anyone that will be there, we welcome you at this particular space. Snovia, I know you missed 2022. You already bought your tickets and everything. Then it collapsed, and now you have the chance now. Now we're more comfortable. There's no more anything. That spirit is gone. 2022, 2021 was that that period of a transformation of the world. So I thank you very much, and we'll still give you a lot of programs coming up on that. And like King Maponga Joshua will be attending on African spirituality. PLO is also putting up to attend. If not, will be represented because he was already there. And so you see this kind of new spirit of vibrant Africa. They want to speak to our youth and our people in the diaspora, because at some point we have lost touch. Like you heard him say, we have mingled too much that we don't even know what, because the nature of, hustling, trying to make ends meet, give back to our community, give back support to our different, to the continent is huge. And sometimes the diaspora just need thank you too from the continent. Thank you from all of us thanking ourselves. So that meeting is going to be a very big meeting, and we can't wait to have all of you. We're expecting to have 5,000. Last year we had 3,000. This year we're expecting to have 5,000. Okay, that will be meeting on this 4 days. So thank you so very much. I keep saying thank you and coming back. Oh my God, it's so difficult to leave this platform. Each time I'm here, it's always difficult to just go. All right, we see ourselves tomorrow, and good night to all of us.
You are watching the Pan African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want. Unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherlands calling its diaspora home. Join my voice. Join my team. Join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa.